Have you ever felt the weight of the world pressed down so hard that the very air in your lungs turns to stone? Have you ever stood in the ashes of everything you've ever built and wondered if the light would ever find you again? I have. I have stood there, and I am here to tell you about the dawn that follows such a night. My name is Elias, and for 50 years, my hand spoke a language that my mouth could not. I was a wood carver. In my small village, nestled by the sea, my workshop was a sanctuary of scent and sound, the sharp perfume of cedar, the earthy musk of oak, the rhythmic scrape of the chisel, the gentle whisper of sandpaper. Each piece I carved was a prayer, a story of faith etched into grain. My life was built on the solid foundation of my craft and my unwavering belief in a God who guided my hands. Then, one starless night, a rogue ember from a passing traveler's fire, carried by a cruel wind, found my workshop. I awoke not to the crow of the rooster, but to the roar of a hungry flame. By sunrise, all that remained was a skeleton of charred beams and a blanket of gray ash. My tools, my life's work, my sanctuary, all of it was gone. In those first days, a terrifying silence filled the space where my workshop once stood. It was the silence of despair. I would walk to the edge of the ruin, the acrid smell of smoke still clinging to the air, and feel nothing but a hollow ache. I was an old man. My hands, once steady and sure, now trembled. My back, once strong, was bowed by years of labor and now by grief. Fear, a cold and creeping vine, began to wrap itself around my heart. I was afraid of the emptiness, of the silence, of a future without purpose. I was discouraged, adrift in a sea of loss. My wife, Sarah, would bring me my meals, her presence a quiet testament to a love that fire could not touch. She never pushed, never offered empty platitudes. She would simply sit with me, her hand resting on mine, a silent anchor in my storm. One morning, she said softly, "Elias, God is our refuge and our strength. He is an ever-present help in trouble. He has not left us." Her words were gentle, but in my heart, they landed on barren ground. Where was this strength? All I felt was weakness. The turning point came not with a thunderclap, but with a whisper. A week after the fire, as I was aimlessly sifting through the debris, my fingers closed around something hard and smooth. I pulled it from the ashes. It was a single chisel, its wooden handle blackened and scarred, but its steel tip, though tarnished, was unbroken. It was the first tool my father had ever given me. Holding it, I felt a flicker, a tiny defiant spark in the vast darkness of my soul. I looked at my trembling hands. They were weak. I looked at the ruin around me. It was a testament to my fragility. And in that moment, a profound truth washed over me. When I am weak, then I am strong. My strength was never in my own hands, my own skill, or my own workshop. It was always in the Lord. That night, for the first time since the fire, I prayed. Not a prayer of petition, but a prayer of surrender. I laid my fear, my weakness, and my brokenness at His feet. The next morning I began. I did not have a grand plan. I simply followed the first instruction that settled in my spirit. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. My first task was to clear the rubble. It was backbreaking work. Neighbors came to help, their love a genuine and powerful force. They embodied the call to be devoted to one another, to cling to what is good. They hauled away charred timbers and sifted through ash, their quiet diligence a sermon more powerful than any words. As we worked, I felt a change. Though my outward self, this aging body, was wasting away with exhaustion, my inward spirit was being renewed day by day. The labor was no longer a reminder of my loss, but an act of faith, a step toward restoration. Rebuilding the workshop was a lesson in perseverance. There were days the rain turned the ground to mud, days my old bones ached so fiercely I could barely stand, days when the sheer scale of the task threatened to swallow my resolve. In those moments of affliction, I learned to be patient. In my hope for a new beginning, I learned to be joyful. In my constant conversation with God, I learned to be faithful in prayer. I had to learn to not be conformed to the despair that surrounded me, but to be transformed by the renewing of my mind. I stopped seeing the mountain of work and started seeing the single stone I could move, the single beam I could raise. My focus shifted from the seen, the temporary ruin, to the unseen, the eternal promise that the Lord would never leave me nor forsake me. Slowly, miraculously, a new structure rose from the ashes. It was different from the old one. The wood was fresh, the lines simpler. It was built not on the confidence of a master craftsman, but on the humility of a faithful servant. As I worked, I felt the Lord as my shepherd. When I needed a specific piece of timber, a farmer would arrive with a fallen oak from his property. When I struggled to lift a heavy beam, young men from the village would appear as if from nowhere to lend their strength. He was providing, he was guiding, he was restoring my soul right there in that valley of smoke and shadow. I learned that worry was a thief. It could not add a single piece of wood to the frame or a single hour to my life. All it could do was steal the peace that God so freely offered. The final piece I carved for the new workshop was a door. I chose a solid piece of walnut, and as my old scarred chisel met the wood, it felt different. My hands were no longer just my own. There was a fervency in my spirit, a strength that flowed not from muscle, but from grace. I didn't carve an intricate landscape or a host of angels as I might have in my youth. Instead, I carved a simple shepherd's crook, strong and steadfast. It was my story. It was the story of a God who guides his flock through the darkest valleys and leads them to green pastures. Today, the scent of cedar and oak once again fills the air. The sound of the chisel is a song of gratitude. The workshop stands not as a monument to my skill, but as a testament to the power of perseverance under trial. I learned that our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. The fire took my workshop, but it could not take my faith. It took my tools, but it could not take my purpose. It brought me to my knees, but it was there, in the ashes, that I found the unwavering hand of God. Blessed is the one who perseveres, for when they have stood the test, they will receive the crown of life. My crown is not made of gold or jewels. It is the quiet joy of a renewed spirit, the profound peace of a faith that has been tried by fire and has emerged not unscathed, but stronger than ever before.